Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast, presented by the Northerner, of course. It's the last time. Oh, wait, no. It'll still
You're
be
still
presented
gonna
by
be
the
here.
Northerner. Yeah.
And it'll still be presented by the Northerners, so.
Yeah. I didn't introduce you yet.
Nope.
I didn't introduce myself yet.
Nope. You want to do one of those hosts?
My name's.
Are we?
I don't know who we are.
I think you're Colton Smith, right?
Yeah, you're Alex, right?
Yeah.
All right. What's your name?
Matt, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
By process of elimination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Well,
Good old PIMDAWs.
Wait. No. You're
That's what they teach us.
You're Mr. Potato Man.
That's real.
Yeah.
Much cooler.
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah. Probably most class on the pod.
I would say so.
Where's he at?
He's in here. He's getting he's having a little surgery done, so I have to. Yeah, he gets up there in age. He's got to start.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, he'll be all good. He should be back for the next episode.
Hopefully he's not cooked.
Nah.
That's a good one.
That. Oh.
That was a good one.
So we have a podcast we're supposed to do here, right, guys?
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Matt, you want to get it started or
Yeah,
what?
welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast presented by the Northerner. I'm one of your co-hosts, Matthew Supinger. I'm joined once again with my other co-host, Alex Perez. Alex, how are we doing?
Doing swell. How are you doing?
Doing good. As they say, Christmas time is here. Something and cheer.
Yeah.
I don't know all the words. I'm not Charlie Brown. And then we got someone else with us. Who's back there? Colton Smith.
I already forgot my name.
What's up, man?
Yeah, Colton, what's up? Just, finals week, so my brain cell that I have left is all I got.
Yeah.
He's a big talker today.
Yeah, man, he's got a lot to say today.
No, I already prefaced that, anything I say, there's going to be just a trail off, and then you guys just have to pick up from there, so enjoy.
That sounds good. It's like an alley-oop, kind of.
Yeah, I'll just lob it to y'all, and y'all just get the finish. Lob City up in here.
Yeah, that works.
I'm really good at dunking.
Yeah.
We have quite the rundown for you today. We're going to talk some NKU sports. We're going to talk some college football. What a weekend it was. I kind of almost forgot that we were going to talk about college football in here because if you all watched the live show, Beyond the Bench, this past Sunday,
Yes, sir.
we already talked a lot about college football. We talked about the playoffs. So I kind of forgot we were going to talk about it on our actual show. Guess it shows how big of a fan I am. We're going to talk some NFL, talk a little bit of NBA. Not much to talk about
No.
NBA.
Very boring sport,
Yeah, pretty
actually.
boring.
So there's an NBA Cup going on? What?
The Lakers aren't in it. Doesn't count.
Yeah. I don't think we'll talk about the NBA Cup at all.
I'll say the same thing. I don't even know. I know that the Thunder made it. The Bucks. Apparently Dame Time's back, and that's all I've seen.
So was Ice Tray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I straight in New York too. That was cold. I'll give him that.
Darvin Ham is undefeated in Cup play.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
So
That's real.
where did he used to be?
Wasting away potential teams,
Okay.
all that. Don't remember where, but
Okay.
I know it was a waste wherever it was.
We can think on that, and then when we get to the NBA, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk some college basketball. College hoops very well right now. Kind of getting into the home stretch of non-conference play, which means conference play starts soon. That's going to be pretty fun to watch, especially in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of our teams are doing pretty well, right?
My team's doing pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we have.
Oh, yeah, we have the
Same
same
team.
team. I forget that.
How's Purdue doing? Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're still ranked.
Okay.
So
Well, hey, that's something.
that's something. Yep.
All right. Well,
Our Norths are doing great. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just beat the doors off of Cumberland. So
yeah.
good stuff.
Not only that, but we've won our last two.
That's right.
Beat IU Indy off Trey
Right.
Robinson's last-second lay-in. Well, actually, it wasn't a lay-in. It was blocked,
Mhm.
but it was a goaltend, of course. And then blew the doors off Cumberland's, like you were saying, Colton. Trey, cooking right now. Coach gets his 100th win. Trey gets his 1,000th point. Alex, you want to talk about those games a little bit? I mean, the Norths are kind of possibly heating up right now. I don't want to say it too early.
Yeah.
Heating up.
The offense has been looking good. They were up 7-0 at the beginning of the IU Indy game and 19-9 early. Hot perimeter shooting got IU Indy back in it for a halftime lead, but the North's offense showed up at the end where they needed it. And the defense, they held IU Indy scoreless for the last 4 minutes, and then they regained the lead. Trey Robinson had his shot goaltended, as we talked about, for the 66-64 win. Robinson hit his 1,000 career points, which is big time. Darren Horn with his 100th career win here at NKU, and a T-Tray with a career-high 5 blocks in that game. Most of those in that 4-minute stretch where they didn't score, so it's good he came up big there. And then versus the Cumberlands, it started out competitive. Cumberlands has some competitors down there, especially in the paint. They were going at him pretty tough at the beginning. It was only a 9-point game by halftime, but then in the second half, NKU kind of took over. They found their rhythm. There was no Sam Vincent in this one. He was out for precautionary measures, but it didn't matter. Josh Dilling had his best game, I think. I think he even said as a collegiate athlete, 17 points, 10 assists. And then Trey Robinson just continues to make the case that he's the Horizon League Player of the Year. 25 points, second time in the last 3 games he's had 25 plus. So 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 70% shooting in December. This team's headed in the right direction, and they have 3 straight games at home after this one, and a chance to get above 500. So I like where we're headed.
So, Post-it note watch.
Mm-hmm.
You said Trey's making his case for being the Horizon League Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Can I put you down on a Post-it for that?
Absolutely.
Cool. Clip that one, chat. We're going to put that one down.
Yeah, I don't even think that's a hot take. I mean, watching him play, it's weird because he was a lot of times that third scorer for NKU last season and the seasons prior, and it's like we had that conference tournament. It's like, okay, he just got hot at the right time, and I definitely expected him to fill that second scorer role. I didn't expect him to take the first scorer role.
Right.
And he's done a great job at it. It's a really nice, 5th year resurgence for Trey Robinson. And yeah, if he keeps playing like this, I think he is absolutely primed for Player of the Year. And I was surprised last year when he won Defensive Player of the Year, so I've been kind of keeping an eye on that defense. I'm like, yeah, I kind of see why. He is a tenacious defender. So, yeah, shout out Trey.
Yep. Women's basketball, on the other hand, lost one to Youngstown State recently, 56-47. Sounds like it was a very defensive game.
Mm-hmm.
They fall to 2-8 on the season. Still kind of trying to find their footing, having some injuries to Macy and Hallie. Talk a little bit about that loss because you were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing coming in without Macy there. And then 2 minutes into the game, Hallie gets hurt. And it seemed like it was pretty bad. I know we talked to Coach the other day. He said it might still be a while, yet to be seen, really. But I like the performances that they had in place of them. Rosano, who hadn't really got many minutes yet, had 6 points and 6 rebounds. So that's big time in that place. And then Maya with 8 points and 4 steals. So we haven't really seen that defensive side from her yet, but it was good to see that she was hustling on both sides. But the main thing is the health of Hallie and Macy and fourth quarter scoring, honestly, because it just hasn't been there this season. We were outscored 21-5 in the fourth quarter of this game. So if we get that fixed, half of these games turn into wins, and we're doing all right. So
Yeah.
we're not too far into conference play, and that's really what the season comes down to anyways. So we have a good amount of time to turn it around, and I think we can. Just got to get healthy and got to get right in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Good to see Maya Meredith doing well, too. I know we wrote an article, if you check out the Norse basketball package, about her kind of finding her joy for the game again and coming to NKU. And, I mean, after a couple big injuries, she's cooking.
For sure.
Finding the time. All right, moving on now, chatting some college football. Quite a few good games in conference play. I know SEC Conference Championship was a game. Some say it was
One
good.
of the games of all time,
Yeah. The ACC was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
What other ones am I missing out on?
Big Ten.
Big Ten
Big
was a good
12,
one, of course.
Mountain West Championship.
Yeah, that one was just once again
I love the Gentry Show.
the Heisman show.
Yeah,
That's what they should be calling it.
that's
But
right.
We'll see what the haters have to say.
The funny thing is, like, the haters just keep on. It keeps on getting less of them. Like, I feel like the more like it sets in that like Genty literally carried this team to a playoff run, and Hunter, outstanding player, doing some incredible things, but without him, this team is probably still above 500. And yeah, I've seen like one of the Josh is back here. He's flipped. We talked about it on the live show. He's flipped. At the end of the day, I get the point for Hunter, but nah, Genty is the Heisman.
Yeah. I saw something the other day that I don't know if this was just like an opinion thing or if there was actual like odds stats that back this up. This is like the largest difference in Heisman odds to like public discourse that there's ever been for a Heisman Trophy, which is very interesting to me. And I think the odds have even jumped even more in Travis Hunter's favor. So we'll see how that one ends up going. But what was your guys' favorite game of the weekend?
For me, it was that ACC championship. Clemson started out 14-0, and it was 4 minutes in, so it looked like SMU was on fraud watch. But they came back. Clemson was up 24-7 at half, so it was pretty daunting. Dabo came into the game 133-1, went up 17 plus at halftime. So it seemed like it was pretty much over. But SMU outscored Clemson 27-7 for most of the second half before a 50-yard kickoff return at the very end got them in field goal range to kick and win the game and to get their spot in the college football playoff. I mean, this was a great game from start to finish. Even if it wasn't like close at the beginning, it was still electric offense to watch. So I kind of loved every second of it. What was yours?
Same game. Clemson obviously was firing on all cylinders in the first half. SMU was firing on all cylinders in the second half. Scored 17 in the fourth, like you were talking about. Clemson only scored 3, but it was at the worst possible time for SMU. Kevin Jennings, continuing to show how much of an animal he is at the quarterback position, going for 304 and 3 touchdowns. Did have a pick. Did have a fumble, too. I think that was in the first quarter, too. Yeah. But played overall well, especially kind of showing like even in that deficit, he was able to pull himself out of the hole. Brashard Smith continuing to show how much of a monster he is. He had 113 on the ground. Bryant Wesco for Clemson, 143, 2 touchdowns, 8 receptions. Klubnik had 4 touchdowns. Jennings had 50 passing attempts. I think Klubnik maybe had 40. So, which is kind of interesting too, because SMU's run game is a whole lot better than Clemson's run game is. But both end up making the college football playoffs. Spoiler alert. So that's gonna be a fun one to see how those two teams play. Colton, what was your favorite?
My favorite was also that ACC championship game. I typically try to pivot, but I don't have the brain capacity to pivot at this point. So I would give an honorable mention to the SEC game just based off the fact very slow burn, very definitely a boring start of the game. But once it got to the end, once it got to nitty-gritty, you had the storylines of the backup quarterback and then overtime and all of that. So it was definitely an interesting game. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah,
I would give an honorable mention if you like that more defensive, not high scoring game, you probably enjoyed that. So but ACC championship, just the storylines around that. SMU was probably out of the playoffs in the first half, and they played their way back in the second half. Eternally happy because it is hilarious seeing Alabama fans, coaches. I believe the athletic director was the guy I retweeted on Twitter. I don't know, some guy who works in the athletic department. All of them just coping on Twitter. And I love the argument for, we need to reevaluate how we do our non-conference schedule. Dude, you played Mercer.
Yeah.
If you play I don't know, Michigan or some other just solid Power 5 team, you probably have a different argument and maybe more of an argument to get in than SMU. So I see all these schools saying, we don't want to have important, big non-conference games. But guess what? If you bet on your team and you win, you could be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I get it. I get why that could be easier, but you got to capitalize on the conference games. And your 2 losses come to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, 2 6-6 teams. It's just not going to cut it. And I'm glad that it worked out. I just severely hope that SMU does not let us down and at least gives Penn State a good fight, which I do believe they will. I doubt Penn State really has a blowout in them, when it comes to big time games. But that was definitely the most interesting game. Maybe not from the start, but definitely in that second half.
Yeah, I agree. This is an interesting point on the rundown. Playoff seeding. In the past, obviously with 4 teams, there was a lot of controversy about, did this team deserve to make it? And there's still some this year. Not actually. It's just, Tide fans crying.
Yeah.
What's new? But do you guys have any problem with any of the seeding?
I have a couple nitpicky things. Oregon got a tough part of the bracket for being the 1 seed.
Yeah.
They have to go play Ohio State or Tennessee, and then the winner of Clemson and Texas. So that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And then I feel Notre Dame should have been 5 over Texas, but they don't play a conference championship, so I guess I can understand that. But those would be my only real gripes with it, and that's being very nitpicky.
Yeah.
What about you all?
I didn't really have anything. I mean, besides those, I think Texas is seated a little high for how they've kind of sputtered out of control into a spiral kind of in the second part of the season. But yeah, besides that and the Oregon thing, like you were talking about, I really don't see. I think everyone that made it deserved to make it. I think everyone that's in the top 4 has very good reason for being in that top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Colton, did you have any gripes with it?
So I had the same nitpicks Alex did. It definitely feels like that top half of the bracket is more difficult. Case in point, I had Boise State making it to the championship. There's other factors involved in that, and that I didn't really have time to prepare and see. Oh, this is what my bracket looks like, but that's beyond the point, or beyond the score.
Hey.
Look at that. The other one, I kind of disagree. And it's more of a personal thing. I understand why the committee put them in. They had to. I don't think Tennessee should have been in. I don't think they're going to give a good show.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State will beat the doors off of them. I think that they just haven't been to that level. Their one win that kind of got them in is the Alabama game, and Alabama just had one of those just off games, and that kind of just contributed to them getting in. So, yeah, I personally think Tennessee shouldn't get in, but that's also just nitpicky. That's just a more of a personal preference. If I had to make a 12-team playoff, they wouldn't be in. But I just kind of see through that, oh, yeah, they were 10-2 in the SEC, but, really, what win did they have outside of that at-home Alabama game? So, but, yeah, Texas Texas is a little high. But I get that also because they said that they weren't really going to change anything around based on conference championships in terms of, if you didn't play this weekend, you're not going to lose, which probably also means you're not going to gain anything. So I get that as a precedent to set.
Yeah, I agree with your points. Next point, though, we're going to talk about a little bit of the matchups. Is there a specific matchup thus far that you all think is maybe primed for an upset?
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about it. I think Clemson beats Texas.
Yeah.
I think Texas is heading in the wrong direction while Clemson is heading in the right one. Do I think this can change if Arch Manning gets some time? Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. I think that might be a good idea for them to look into, especially even if it gets a little distance in the first quarter even. But I feel this defense will be too much for a Texas offense that, as you said, is sputtering and a little lackluster. So give me Clemson to beat Texas.
Yeah, I said the same exact one. I think Clemson, especially with the coaching, and not that, Sark hasn't been in those type of games before, but as a head coach, besides the college football playoff matchup last year against Washington, he hasn't been in those matchups. He's been in there as other positions.
Yeah.
Not like that, though. So I think that coaching kind of difference is big time. Yeah, and I think Texas's defense, I don't think this is going to be a shootout by any means. I think it's going to be maybe similar to the SEC championship because I think both these teams have great defenses. So I think if Clemson can activate that run game, though, even just get it kind of going, then I think they've got a shot to potentially, light up Texas.
If they can get healthy.
Yeah. Colton, what about you?
So for upset watch, I would agree with what you said on Clemson and Texas. I also go to that bottom of the bracket, though, and look in the second round at Georgia. I think that's a team that's very vulnerable right now, depending upon their quarterback situation. The last thing I heard was not any definite. I think it's just Josh said he heard through the grapevine, potentially that they won't have Carson Beck for that game, and Gunner is still kind of questionable. They do have the benefit of a long time off, so they're going to be a well-refreshed team if they can have a quarterback that can compete. But at this stage right now, I would go out on a limb, or I don't even know if it's out on a limb because I've already said it. I think Notre Dame or Indiana, who wins that game, will also defeat Georgia. And then another team I think is on upset watch is Oregon. And I know that sounds very weird, but I feel like Oregon has just been consistently at this level. And in their first 2 rounds, they played 2 teams in Arizona State and Ohio State. I don't know if Ohio State would necessarily, you could correct me if I'm wrong, if they've been on like an upward trajectory. I know they obviously lost to Michigan, but I feel like they could be a team that hits that stride, and we'll find out against Tennessee for sure. And if they're hitting their stride, that's dangerous for Oregon. And then Arizona State, talk about a team playing their best football right now. I think they absolutely are, and I have them beating Oregon in my bracket. So, yeah, I think Oregon is absolutely on upset watch. And it's just the saying that I've said probably every show I've done for like the last 2 weeks is I just feel like an undefeated team is not as scary as a team that has faced defeat before. So they could just prove me wrong and go and win it all, and I absolutely see that happening. That was my pick to start the season, so it's certainly possible. But I just, in the back of my mind, I just have that thought.
Yeah. And then you also got to think about, too, I mean, granted, it was like first 2 weeks of the season that they played Boise, but Genty's obviously the best running back in the nation. Scadaboo's not too far behind that.
No.
Right.
And you look at the skill set he brings. Genty gave that defense a lot of problems. I know it's been a long time. I know they've learned a lot and locked down a lot of really good offensive players, but Scadaboo's a guy that you gotta worry about no matter what team you are.
I would also add in the argument there, Boise State is a very one-dimensional team, and Arizona State is not as much of one. I think their quarterback is very, very talented, and they have good wide receivers. They even were missing their best wide receiver in the Big 12 championship, and their offense really didn't skip a beat. So I think Arizona is probably Arizona State is more of a threat than that of Boise State to knock off Oregon. And Oregon, regardless of how dominant and great they've been, and against a lot of the quality teams, Wisconsin comes to mind that they've played, they tend to have close games. So I think regardless of who they play, it'll be a close game. And when you leave the door open for close games like that, anything can happen.
Yeah. Moving on from that, though, there's a lot of good matchups outside of the college football playoffs. Obviously, this has been quite an interesting year in terms of just having so many teams that are good at the least. Seeing a lot of upsets, which is pulling people from the playoffs. What is you guys' favorite game outside of the college football playoffs?
This may be a little bit of a less popular pick, but give me the Birmingham Bowl. Vanderbilt versus Georgia Tech. The Cinderella Bowl, I would call it. Vandy has upsets against Alabama and then one-score games with Texas, LSU, and Missouri. And then Georgia Tech put FSU on fraud watch immediately to start the season. And then beat Duke, North Carolina, and Miami, and then went to 8 overtimes with Georgia. So I can't wait to see this game, honestly. I think it'll be a lot of fun and a very close matchup.
Yeah.
What about you?
I got probably a lot of people's pick, Colorado versus Miami. I think that's going to be super entertaining. I know there's already been some talk between Cam Ward and Shadur, just talking about, it was kind of funny, actually. I think both of them were talking about each other's or their own stats. And they were like, why do you talk about your stats so much, man? It's a team game. That was kind of funny to me for both of them to say that. But I think it'll be just a really fun game. I think it's going to be like the classic college football matchup. A lot of offense. And then you have stars all over the field. So, yeah, that's my pick.
Good one.
Give me Georgia Tech versus Vanderbilt. These are two of teams that I was like, I'm so behind them succeeding, and they both ended up Vanderbilt 6-6, Georgia Tech 7-5, or maybe 8-4, probably 7-5 though. They were just there was a time I thought Georgia Tech was making the college football playoff after the week 0. That obviously didn't happen, but if they keep everything intact, they absolutely could next year. And Vanderbilt's such a fun story and team to watch. I just love the underdog story, and I hope that they can build on this season and in future years maybe be an average team in the SEC. That's what they were this year, and I hope they can keep that up. One thing I wanted to point out, Alex, I was playing college football a couple of weeks ago, and I was Vanderbilt, and they considered Kentucky a rivalry. Does Kentucky consider Vanderbilt a rival?
No, that's little brother most of the time. They have pulled off a couple upsets in recent years, but no, that's no rivalry at all.
Dude, I'm the biggest moron in the world.
What's up?
Colorado is not playing Miami.
I wasn't going to call.
I'm not going to lie.
you
I
out.
was like, that doesn't sound like the game.
Why did I think they were playing each other?
I don't know.
I just chalked it up
I'm a
to
fraud
the
watch.
brain cell I have left. So
The Colorado BYU game though
yeah,
will be very
the
good.
Colorado
Both of their,
BYU
both
game
their
will
bowl
be
games still look
stellar.
like they'll be good.
Will be stellar. And Miami's playing who?
Iowa State.
Oh, that
What was I thinking?
that will
Pop-Tart
be
Bowl.
a show.
In the
So,
Pop-Tart Bowl,
ladies
I didn't
and
know
gentlemen,
that's
That might be my
that's
favorite
electric.
game.
The Pop-Tart Bowl. Garrett was so hoping LSU would get in that.
Now another one to keep your all's eye out on, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Don't know why they combined both of those names, but anyways, South Carolina versus Illinois, two solid teams all year. South Carolina with more of a college football playoff argument than Alabama, in my opinion. They beat A&M, Vandy, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Clemson. So I cannot wait to watch this game too.
You know what would have been funny is if they put Ole Miss and Alabama in a bowl game against each other and said, all right, all this talk, let's see who's the better team. Like, that would have been funny. Do you know who Ole Miss is playing? I have the schedule put up here. I can look for it.
Off the top of my head.
I wasn't seeing it, but yeah, if you guys want to move on, I'll just figure that out myself.
Yeah, so this is the last podcast I'm ever doing. I just publicly embarrassed myself. I really don't know why I thought they were playing each other.
That is one way to go out.
The funny thing is, you could have just edited
would've-
it and nobody
hey.
would have known the difference. But
That's true.
If that was a real matchup, that would be
That
a very
would probably
good
be a
matchup.
very fun game to watch.
Very fun game to watch.
Maybe they should play each
I
other.
was going to say, you're just telling the committee what they should have actually done.
Hey, come on, make the change. It's not too late. All right. Well, anyways, let's see if I can talk any more ball the rest of this podcast. Talking a little bit about NFL football. That is National Football League. Just make sure you guys know
Nice.
that I do know that.
That's good. I'm glad you knew that.
Pretty meh week. I mean, there really hasn't been. Besides Thursday Night Football was very fun.
That was good.
There were a couple pretty good games throughout this week. Nothing too crazy though. Bengals are back.
The Simpsons are back. That's what
The
I'm saying.
Simpsons are back, and the Simpsons may be all Pro Bowlers
Look like
except
it.
for Homer.
Yeah.
Uh,
That'd be a bit of a homer pick, wouldn't it? Anyways.
Yeah, this definitely is my last podcast. I'm not
Woo-wee,
that
that
was.
was.
So yeah, what was your guys' biggest takeaway from this week?
The Panthers might be serviceable now. That's pretty cool to see.
That is pretty cool.
I would say they're just not the worst team in the league.
Yeah. They won 2 in a row about a month ago. And now they've played 3 straight one-score games against the Bucks, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. So they're almost playing upset alert, but
They're almost playoff bound.
yeah, they didn't even allow a Saquon touchdown. So that was interesting to see. And then on the other side, the Chiefs are cheating. I don't know
Yeah.
how they're doing it, but they're definitely cheating.
Maybe we could get a Beyond the Score interview or investigation.
Yeah, that's investigative journalism at its finest.
Yeah.
We'll get on it.
Maybe they just do like a seance or something like that. There's no way they're not.
Yeah,
There's something supernatural about the way they win.
They don't even have their starting kicker, and they still win on a doink field goal.
Has anyone seen Rashee Rice since he got injured?
It's
I'm not trying to speculate.
I think he's filming scenes for GTA 6.
anyways, 15 straight one-score games. The Steelers got to put an end to this on Christmas. That's all I know.
Yeah, if you guys don't, just know.
Tom
No, that is the one week
The tomfoolery's
in my
gotta stop
entire
there.
life that
Yeah.
I will ever root for the Steelers will be that week. So
I'll come to your house and beat you up if you guys don't beat the Chiefs.
Everybody will be cheering for the Steelers on Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty similar to what you were saying. Bryce Young continues to show, that he is that quarterback down there in Carolina. They don't need to worry about drafting anyone else. Just get him a receiver, please.
Yeah.
That drop at the end of the game is absurd
Yeah.
because that's pretty much in the breadbasket. Just about there. We were talking about before this. And I just brought up the point, like, if they had their first round pick last year, imagine they draft Marvin Harrison Jr., what that team looks like.
Nasty.
But yeah, big game for him. Good to see. The Rod Wave message works.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
got to get more occurrences of that. Maybe he can come talk to the Bengals defense.
Maybe we should get him on the pod.
Oh, yo, that might be the move. Rod Wave. You're welcome, man. Come chill with us.
Got a seat for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Got two of them. All right, so mine is you guys said nothing. One of you guys said nothing crazy happened this week. and there was a game between the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know if you guys saw, like 44-42 Los Angeles Rams. Rams fighting for their playoff lives right now. I believe they're now 7-6, which puts them a game behind the Seahawks.
I believe so, yeah.
This game was electric. It was the first game in like a couple weeks I've been able to just sit down and watch from start to finish, and it was beautiful. Josh Allen, 6 total touchdowns, 3 on his legs, 3 in the air, and no offense, Allen.
Yeah. We get it, bro. You gotta run.
All right.
Woo.
342 pass yards, 82 rushing yards. Khalil Shakir went for 5 receptions, 106, and 1 touchdown. Puka Nacua on my bye week goes for 12 receptions, 162 yards, and a touchdown. Can't wait for him to put up 10 points this week. And this game was electric. It was huge, and I think the Bills are absolutely. I think this is still like it's obviously a loss, but I don't think it's as big of a loss as people make it out to be. I mean, you got Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp. I mean, that is a when healthy championship level team, if you ask me. And they were all healthy. They're all gunning. They're trying to get into that playoffs. And if they get in the playoffs, I think anything can happen. I had this as my dark horse Super Bowl team, and it didn't look like that for a couple weeks there. But things are coming back together, and I think they absolutely can be a contender. We'll find out this week. They play. I guess the Niners. I always think of them as a Super Bowl contender, but they ain't.
They're butt cheeks.
They play tonight.
They play tonight. Yep. Yeah. So we'll see how that game goes. If they can kind of be a level ahead of them. I think that would definitely work out, but we'll just have to wait and see. I see movement behind me. So Garrett got food. All right, sorry, distraction. Y'all take it away. Josh Allen's still MVP, by the way. I see Bengals fans like when Joe Burrow loses, like he doesn't get MVP talks. It's like, well, here's the difference: is Josh Allen's 10-3, the Bengals are 5-8. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, man, it would be so crazy if somebody said that, wouldn't it?
It
would be so crazy and mad if somebody.
like, come on now.
All right. Here's the thing though, let's say Joe continues at this pace, makes
We
playoffs,
have to win every single game.
makes playoffs as a wild
Every single
card.
game.
Would you say he's MVP?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he would probably at that point would have
That's
the
what I'm
triple
saying.
crown.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just laughing that he was calling you out.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
Didn't even realize.
But they gotta win out to
Yeah.
make the playoffs. So if they do that, I think he absolutely deserves it because like that's an incredible run. But
Yeah.
are they?
Hey, you never know, man. Never say never. Justin Bieber once said that.
How much you want
All
to
right.
Garrett, guys? Is that hot? Oh, we got Canes.
Oh, did you bring some for all of us?
I have started the trend of Canes. I got that last night. Phil's apparently getting some today now.
yeah, it's
so.
crazy. My phone must not be working because I didn't get
Yeah,
asked if I wanted
know.
any canes.
That's
but-
crazy. Oh. Okay, he's not hearing a word you said, but I'll let him know.
Sorry.
What are you typing up there?
I can't tell you.
Alright.
So
he's making notes.
yeah, no, I'm making notes. Bengals make the playoffs. I'm
All
predicting it.
Just
Just kidding. Not predicting. it.
I
Not predicting.
you got that
No.
on
I'm
record.
not
I
predicting
think- I
that.
think
Not
that's
predicting
sticky
that one.
noteworthy.
No. What you know? What else we have on record? Me saying Colorado's playing Miami.
That's true.
So-
but
Put
that's
that
not
on
a
a
hot
sticky
take.
note.
Yeah, put that on
That's
post-it
just
note.
wrong. That's not a hot take.
Yeah, that's true. We never know. They might be playing in the Cancun Bowl. Okay, what was your guys' favorite game this week? Well, I guess we already know Colton's. Yeah. Gosh. Oh, I'm gonna wait my turn.
That's also mine, honestly.
Oh my gosh, dude.
The MVP Josh Allen with 6 touchdowns and 5 incompletions.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Kyron Williams and Puka both with 2 touchdowns apiece. Matthew Stafford, 23 of 30, 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you like defense, you didn't like this game.
Old heads.
And,
We're hating this game.
and I love to see some offense. So this game was a very fun game to watch.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just laughing. Whenever you say Puka, whenever anyone says Puka, the first thing I think of is them. I just imagine they're saying Pookie. That's kind of weird. Not that serious. Colton might for Puka.
I
Big fantasy guy.
big fantasy guy.
Yeah, my
team, Pookie Nikuis.
All right,
my
what's yours?
My favorite was the Turd Bowl down in Miami. Actually, not really the Turd Bowl because Miami's still technically jockeying for a spot in the playoffs. But that was my favorite game. Pretty fun game. I only caught like the second half of it and overtime. But Jonnu Smith, who I don't think had a single reception all game, had 3 in overtime. Scored the touchdown for the Dolphins. They win. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are out of playoff contention. Ugh, that's so weird because I thought people were saying, not anyone here, thought people were saying if Aaron Rodgers came back, they were making the playoffs. And
Sure as hell wasn't me.
Couldn't happen to a better team.
I know I don't know a whole lot about ball, but fact check me if I'm wrong here. They're not going.
They're not.
Theoretically, when you're eliminated from the playoffs, yeah, you're not going to the playoffs.
That's what I thought.
I mean, they could technically still like buy some tickets and go watch
Yeah.
the playoffs.
That's true. Yeah.
Theoretically, they don't play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they won't be playing.
They will be off plays in the playoffs.
It's a bar.
That's
It unfortunately is.
is it a bar?
It's not.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's up for debate as well. That was my favorite game. I thought it was really fun. And I thought watching the Jets lose, that's always good. It's always a good day. Now we're going to talk a little bit about a team that is winning right now and is winning a lot of games, actually. Double digit, to be exact. Vaguely exact. Minnesota Vikings. A little bit of debate, I've heard, supposedly through the grapevine, that they could be pretenders. I don't think that. I think they're contenders. But what do you guys think?
I would also say they're contenders. I think the thing that most people look at in contention with this is Sam Darnold, and he definitely bounced back. 5 touchdowns, 2 receivers with 2 touchdowns apiece. They're 11-2 and leading, and they could be leading about 5 other divisions with that record. So I think them not leading the division against a Detroit Lions team that's probably going to win the Super Bowl, maybe win the Super Bowl. It's not something that you can hold against them, but it's something a lot of people are still holding against them.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. I think they beat the Niners, which I know we've talked about their butt cheeks. They beat the Packers. They just whooped up on the Falcons this past week, which I know is not a huge win, but in terms of jockeying for playoff position, that does help them. I mean, it hurts the Falcons more than anything else. But, yeah, no, I think they're second in the best division in football, like you were talking about, behind potential Super Bowl champ Detroit Lions. So, yeah, I think they're contenders. I think they've proved on both sides of the ball that they, maybe they're not always clicking together at the same time, but you're at least going to see one of them clicking if the other one's not.
You could call the scheme into question sometimes, for sure. They should remember they have Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
He has 6 or less receptions in 3 of the last 5 games.
Is that
Not a great game plan.
that personal bias, though?
Well, is he on my fantasy team? Allegedly.
Okay.
But they should still, he's their best player, so I feel like they should remember he's on the team.
Is he your best player?
Hmm?
Is he yours?
Probably, yeah.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of expected the Vikings to, after their bye, they had like an early bye, and I think they had just dropped their first game, or they dropped their first game the week after the bye. I kind of expected them to start having a downtrend and losing some games, and they lost that game to the Lions, and after that they've kind of gone back to it. And I've mentioned it before. This defense is what wins them a lot of games. But Sam Darnold was what won them that game against the Falcons. I mean, 5 touchdowns is insane. So it's starting an interesting conversation about, do the Vikings extend Darnold long term? Do they go with J.J. McCarthy? And it's interesting because that's just kind of after that game, whereas he had been slumping in recent weeks, the team still won besides that. And I think what this team's playoff success really comes down to is how does Sam Darnold play in the playoff time, or will they be able to win in spite of whatever he puts up? But I mean, he's put up some good games against some quality opponents. The Falcons have kind of been slipping here recently. I guess on a side note, they were first in the NFC South, and I think the Buccaneers either have taken over or are about to take over that spot now. So it's been a free falling for Kirko and the Falcons, and the Vikings look better without Kirk.
Yeah, hit the nail on the head there. Moving on now, talking NBA. What is that?
Sport
I
that
think it's
exists,
the
right?
MNBA, actually.
What now?
MNBA, yeah. Men's National Basketball.
Sorry, folks. Colton's having an aneurysm.
Yeah, we are definitely in finals week. We are in the thick of it.
On the finals week, Colton would not have tried to pronounce NBA. That is for sure.
Yeah, I've never really heard of this NBA sport before. I won't talk about anything with it.
Yeah. We can just skip it.
Yeah.
We'd rather give you quality analysis that we know and can give you, not just
Guessing what this NBA is.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what a sport is. So we'll move on to more relevant sports.
Right. Do you know anything about it?
Well, there's this thing called the NBA Cup going on right now, and I'm really glad because that means I don't have to watch Lakers basketball. We lost to the Hawks the other night, even though AD had 38 and 10, LeBron had 39, 11, and 11. Wow. Left Trae Young wide open for the game-winning three. I've heard he's pretty good at shooting those, so it just kind of blows my mind that he was wide open for the win. Then the next one was a 9-point win against Portland. Yippee. 37 points in the second quarter, or we don't win that game probably. LeBron finally realized at 40 years old, he's probably not going to be able to play 82 consecutive games. Finally took some rest, and hopefully that rest will improve the team because it looks unserious and very concerning right now.
Yeah.
You're talking about NBA? MNBA?
MNBA, yeah. I am not a fan of it. I don't know how much more I'll be watching this.
Yeah, no,
this
I
season.
agree with you. Not a whole lot to watch for me either from the limited time that I have done it.
Mm-hmm.
This team that I just kind of watched, the Golden State Warriors, 2-2 in their last 4, and that NBA Cup thing you were talking about, just lost to the Rockets for the first time in, I believe, 249 years.
Yeah, since the World War at least.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not good. They're not too good right now. Colton, I believe you might have brought up the Buddy Hield slump. Was it?
Yeah, it's a thing he tends to do from
Yeah.
Pretty much every year. He makes you think, oh yeah, Buddy Hield, he's like that. He's getting buckets, and then you get about this time of the year, and you realize why he's an 80 overall in 2K.
Right. Yeah, that's a
If he still
fair
is that
depiction of players.
nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play that money trap.
that. There we go. Yeah. No, we're not really good right now. So I don't watch much of it.
But at least we have one good team to talk about. Colton, how are the Pacers doing?
College basketball?
No. The professional sports team, the Pacers.
Professional sports. Fellas, I'll be honest. It's been finals week. I haven't looked. Are we actually? Alex, you tell me how the Pacers are doing.
Honestly, I haven't been paying attention to them either. I don't like the NBA right now, but I don't think they're doing too hot. I don't think any of our teams are doing too hot at this moment.
No, that's what I was going to say. Last I checked, we weren't doing too hot, but maybe I missed something.
No, you haven't.
I know Tyrese is the most inconsistent player.
Miles Turner's coming up pretty clutch on my fantasy team, but that's about the only good thing.
Because he's been playing like dog water from what I've seen.
Oh, well.
I guess
the bigs just get more points, I guess. I don't know.
They played against who did they play? They played against a team without a center, is all I remember, and he had 1 rebound. Their center was like 5 inches shorter than him. He got
It
one
must
rebound.
be. It must be the points then, because he gets me like 30 plus.
It might
a
have been
game.
the Pelicans that we played. No, because we already played them twice. But yeah, I don't know. I've been out of tune this week, so I don't want to just spew out misinformation. But I do know that's a fact. He had 1 rebound in a game as a center that back in his heyday, which was literally last year. He got boards, played defense, and it's just not there. So Lakers, if you want him, please.
Yeah, I know we were making conversations about Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. I think I'm good on that now. Thanks, though. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on from this. Actually, no, we'll talk a little bit more about the Cup. Bucks playing the Hawks. Thunder playing the Rockets. Those honestly should be 2 fun games to watch.
Yeah.
That Rockets Warriors game was fire. I did catch some of that.
Yeah, it was a damn good game. Not that good, though. So, not good enough.
Not good enough for you to bring it up, huh?
Yeah, no, not good enough for me to give a shit. Pardon my French.
Hey, I
This is
love
a
the Rockets,
family-friendly show.
the
Come on
Rockets.
now.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
we had
no.
a sticky note back when I was talking about the Rockets, dude, I would have had like 5 sticky notes up there, and they all would have been right. So I
Yep.
cut you off.
Yeah, got to tip my captain. They got a dang good roster out there in Houston. But yeah, who do you guys think are taking those games?
Unfortunately, I think the Bucks have kind of figured it out. They're trending in the right direction.
Probably figured it out because of Darvin Ham.
Yeah,
It's the regular season, guys.
That's
So-
got to be it.
let's
Yeah.
chill, let's chill.
Doc
is a
Rivers and Darvin
legendary
Ham, regular season merchants for sure. I think they'll be able to play some defense against, Trae Young, Jalen Johnson. They got a pretty good team this year. They might be back to that beating the Knicks in the playoffs type of team. But I think the NBA
Sixers.
Cup, again, regular season merchants, the Bucks are going to pull it out there. And the Thunder, I think, beat the Rockets, and I think they eventually beat the Bucks and win the NBA Cup. I think the Thunder is one of the top 3 teams in the league this year, so I don't think they'll have that much trouble winning any of these games.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much got the same exact stuff. I think the Runder versus Thockets. That's not right. The Thunder versus
What?
the Rockets.
Finals week. It's
yeah,
finals
no, that's
week.
killing us. I only had one final too, so I'm just stupid. I think that's gonna be a really good
Hey.
game.
You're not stupid.
It's just
You mean
isn't
that, man?
you.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. No, I think that's gonna be a really fun game, especially the guard play between the two. I think the paint will be really fun to watch because Sengun kind of tore us up last night, and I mean he's just one of the best bigs in the league, anyways. But to see how he's gonna play against the Thunder down low, gonna be fun to watch. Gonna be fun to see what they try and scheme up to put a cap on him at least. But yeah, I think the Thunder are gonna take it all.
I saw a stat where like him and I think Amen Thompson are like as a 2-man lineup are like the highest plus minus. I think that was a stat that was on there like in the league, which is just kind of weird. It's a weird stat to like pull up like 2 position because like then the rest of it was just SGA and every other starter on the team. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. They were at the top at like 16 plus minus.
Yep.
Yeah, the only real big the Thunder have is Hardenstein right now, so I feel like Sengun could give him some trouble. So if he has a great game, they might be able to pull that out.
Yeah.
Those are actually 2 really exciting games now I think about
Yeah.
it. Like you got Trae versus Dame, 2 bucket getters, and then Rockets and Thunder. I mean, those are 2 teams that have been compared with each other pretty much throughout their rebuild, and now the Thunder obviously being the 1 seed and the Rockets definitely having a breakout season this year. So I have free time coming up. I think I might actually watch some NBA.
Yeah. And we won't have a podcast for like a month, so
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Just wait till we come
Oh,
back,
sorry,
dude.
guys.
I'm going to have so much free time. I don't even have to look at anything. I'll just know them off the top of my head.
he's gonna be calling out.
Gonna
defense
come
in the
back
middle
with
of
a
our
packet
podcast.
like this of NBA notes.
Dude thinks he's Bill Belichick. 400 pages. Yeah, did you guys have any winners or losers of the week before we get done with the stupid sport?
Oh,
Hey, it's not the sport. It's the league.
Sorry, stupid league.
Thank you.
winner, Miami, despite barely having an over 500 season this year, we're still talking about them because they're still convincing people they're going to trade Jimmy Butler, even though they never will.
Nope.
So good job for them for getting that PR that they wanted.
They did something pretty big last week, didn't they?
What'd they do?
Give you an L.
I don't remember that. Anyways,
Okay.
you got a winner?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Breaking their losing streak,
Hey.
beating potentially a top 3, top 5 big we've ever seen in this game. The Washington Wizards, folks. They're winners for one single game. They beat the Nuggets 122 to 113 when Nikola Jokic had the greatest game of his career so far. So that alone is going to give them the status.
Wow.
Yeah.
How can I pick anything other than the Wizards?
Yeah.
Like, you win a game and you're the Wizards, you might be the best team in the NBA.
Yeah. They got to hang up a banner for that now.
Won a game.
Unfortunately, the Nuggets were that team.
Yeah. That is tough. Yeah, losers. I don't know. Myself, probably.
Agreed.
The Magic is who I went with.
As
No
in
fault of their
myself
own.
As well. I mean, you could be words. Sorry, Alex.
Franz Wagner out for an extended period of time, especially after Paolo went out. But yeah, that's the only one I could think of for this week.
Yeah. Okay. College basketball. UK's doing pretty good.
Doing really good.
Had a pretty solid win.
Yeah. Pretty solid, some may say. Beating Colgate.
Yeah.
How's that for fresh? Oh.
9 out of 10 dentists wouldn't recommend playing us.
Oh. That was a good one. I don't have any more comments on
All
that.
right.
Yeah, Kentucky's doing pretty good. Beat Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Colgate. But Colgate's the more premier win.
For sure, yeah.
We're running on
Is that all
fumes
you
right
got?
now. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, so Colgate, the big win, 78-67. Down at points in the second half was UK. Shocking, honestly. But they don't have Butler or Creaser right now. So the offense is looking a little jumbled at points. So hopefully Butler's back soon. I know Creaser won't be. He broke his foot. But shout out to him for still playing defense, even though he broke his foot in that Gonzaga game that we won 90-89.
Small school.
UK was down 16.5, but fought back because we have a coach who can make adjustments now. The last one, I don't know if you all remember, when we lost to Gonzaga the last time, said we lost it in the first half.
I do remember that.
Interesting change of pace here. 7 turnovers for UK and didn't miss a free throw until overtime. I was really excited to be able to brag that we didn't miss one free throw because haven't seen that since, I don't know, Tubby Smith. But we missed 3 in overtime, even the last 2. But that's okay because we still won. Andrew Carr, after missing those free throws, poked the ball away, and we secured the win. He also did everything with 19 points and 7 rebounds. Jackson Robinson making every shot he put up. So that's good to see because he hasn't really had too great of offensive games so far. The second half adjustment. Oh, I already said that, so never mind. Your turn. Is that all? You got anything?
I already did my yapping.
Oh, yeah, okay. Golden?
I predicted that Purdue would lose to Penn State, and that is the extent of Purdue's week. I don't even care the conference game that we played and won after that because I was busy. So, finals week, woo.
Nice. We're cooking today,
He sounds very excited.
He does, yeah. You were talking about a coach that we used to have not making second half adjustments. Did you happen to watch them make second half adjustments the other night against Michigan?
No.
Oh, they did. I watched the second half of that game.
Okay.
I'm not.
Was it the
It's not that I
coach?
disagree with you.
Was it the
Arkansas?
coach making adjustments or?
I will say DJ Wagner had a heck of a second half, and they found ways to get to the paint damn near every single time.
Dog, I just realized TJ Wagner went to Arkansas.
Yeah, no one really cares
What?
DJ
A
Wagner
Cal
is,
team
man.
didn't get back in the game by shooting threes? That is shocking.
Did they beat Michigan?
I think they did. Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, game of the week. You want me to say it?
Yeah, you could say
Because
it.
I got the funny. I made a little funny with it.
Yeah, it was funny.
UK versus the Pooville Shartnals.
Got him.
That was funny.
The rivalry is back, though.
Yeah, it is.
After
It
the
should be
last
fun.
2 years being terrible because Louisville's been terrible, we're finally probably going to have a good game. I hear Louisville is dealing with some injuries, though, so it may still end up being a blowout, but maybe not because we're also dealing with those couple of injuries that I talked about. So yeah.
Yeah.
Colt.
Colton, you got a favorite game?
Give me a good old crosstown shootout.
Oh,
Good one.
UC,
solid.
Xavier. I'll be tuned in after my graduation. Yeah, it's a fun day of college basketball on Saturday. A lot of good games. I believe Purdue plays Texas A&M that day, so I guess I'll tune in. But Matt, I just realized I think we'll be sitting next to each other at graduation
oh my gosh, dude! Yeah.
because we're both same major. We both
Damn.
asked,
Wait.
unless there's somebody between M and U.
What's your
who
major?
asks. EMB.
I'm not an A&B major.
You're not?
No,
What are you?
communications. I'm stupid.
Well, that would have been pretty cool.
He likes to yap, so he's
Yeah, I
communications
love
based.
talking. If you couldn't tell, that's why I made a podcast.
A couple other honorable mentions though.
So you got a Japanese major.
A couple other honorable mentions though. Gonzaga plays UConn, and that Xavier team also plays UConn. So those will be a couple of fun matchups to look out for in this upcoming week.
Me and Colton were talking. You just kind of interrupted
It
us.
didn't seem like it was going anywhere, so I just had to remind you all that we're still doing a podcast. I think
Cool. You done?
that's it.
Okay.
Got my honorable mentions out.
Let's go to post-game presser.
So that'd
Okay.
be a fun one.
This should be a very, very fun one
Colt
because
sounds so enthused. This ought to be a fun one.
Hey, we got some great highlights. Don't get it twisted.
we got good highlights and we got good lowlights. This week, it's a double feature, folks. We're bringing you some of the best things we've seen within the past week or this year. It's a little bit of a broad spectrum now that I say it. And we also bring you our favorite lowlight that comes to mind. I don't know when they're from. So, yeah, you want to go first, Alex?
Sure.
I'm really curious to know what yours are.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Which one are we going with? The highlight?
we'll start with the
Yeah,
highlight.
Do you want to start with you want to start high and go low, or do you want to bad news first? You know, good news?
Let's start
Highlight.
high and go low.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Maybe it'll come in. Maybe it won't. We'll find out in a second.
Spoiler alert. This is from the.
Very dark.
Oh,
in your back.
I'm Alex Perez. This is like
There we go.
oh,
I
hey.
found it. Let's go.
All
All right. I cannot wait for it not to be finals week. Are we ready?
Trigger warning. If you can't stand flashing lights, look away. All right.
Should we preface with what Jaw said
Oh,
before we
dude.
do this?
Celtics
or-
Grizzlies. Yeah, John Morant right before this game said, "I'm really trying to look out for my body, so I'm not going to be dunking anymore." The play in question. Desmond Bain step back pump fake over to Morant, who drives baseline and
Hey.
double pumps it like a Key and Peele sketch. What a
Why won't it let me switch to you guys? This is crazy. All right. Oh, so it's left on fade to black. That's why. There we go. I done figured it out.
all
Let's
right.
cook it back
You
here.
have that director's commentary.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right. So, yeah,
All right.
it's such a fire play.
Yeah, that was a pretty nasty dunk.
NBA is better when Jaw is back in dunking.
That's true.
But are we
What is
ready?
it? The NBA?
Yeah, sorry, MNBA.
There you go.
Yeah, my bad. All right, we ready for the second one, Alex? I'm very
Are we going? Okay, we're going low light. All
impartial
right.
to this one. So
Oh man.
Here we go. Bengals,
Hey.
Cowboys. Cowboys get the block and are stupid and try to grab the ball.
Just
they-
like how it was schemed up.
They apparently don't know the rules of the NFL. You don't have to touch it. But J-Ron Curse decided I'm gonna grab it, and didn't work out. They were probably cursing him out, but did not work out for him. And you just got to know better.
Yeah, yeah. Amen. That was a good one. I liked that one. I didn't expect that for the low light. Honestly, I don't know what I expected.
It just made me laugh that you can have that big of a brain lapse in a big moment like that.
I mean, it's Cowboys.
Yeah, that's true.
So
America's team.
yeah, my bad. I shouldn't disrespect him like that.
But America's fumbled a couple times this year anyway, so it's okay.
How so?
Anyways, what do you got?
I have quite the yeah. We'll start with the highlight. This might be. I didn't make this TikTok, by the way. This might be one of the coolest catches I've seen in a while. You see it and you're like, oh, okay, that was quite the catch, but he's probably out. I don't know if they give the field view. Oh,
they did it like the last second, but
But we got to get back to you, Matt.
yeah,
so.
yeah, no. I guess
here's like a freeze frame of it.
yeah,
With the video is like 10 frames.
Ooh, going back to the freeze frame.
quite filthy.
That's what we pay Colton big bucks for.
Amen, man. He's making moves today.
Making major moves with our resume.
Yeah. So, yeah, quite the catch there by Puka Nacua. That I saw that immediately. I was like, that's my post-game presser.
That's a good one.
Because it's always on the mind for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now my low light this week. I've been sitting on this one for a while. Oh, my gosh. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, my gosh.
And just the theatrics of it. It's like the Dave Chappelle skit. Game blouses at the end of that.
Yeah, so that was my low light.
That's a good one.
I think when we first talked about doing this, it was like at least a month ago. I said I think I told you that was gonna be my low light.
I had forgot though. That was funny.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. So yeah, here we are now, folks. December, was it the 12th?
I think so.
What a semester. Obviously with both of you guys, I wanted to say I'm very thankful for both of you all. I know it's not Thanksgiving, but I'm very thankful to have both of you guys in the studio with me. It's been quite a ride thus far. Still have another semester of doing this. But yeah, it's been very fun. Have plenty of great moments with you all. And yeah, I'm excited to see what second half of the season holds for both of us, or for all of us.
Of the season. I like that you called it that, very on brand.
I was just saying, like, both of you guys, I'm excited to see what it holds. I'll be gone. I don't know where I'll be.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's like New Alaska.
But yeah, spoiler alert, it's not the last show. But it is as students for Matt and Colton. They're going to be graduating. So just want to say it's a big deal making it through. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Big deal.
Alex. Thank you for letting us be on your show.
Yes.
No,
The Alex
I don't
Perez
like
show.
to brag. I tell you all this all the time. But since you brought it up, you're very welcome.
Beyond the Perez.
Beyond the bird.
Might be a new title. Rebranding after the semester.
Replace the basketball with Alex's, like a cutout of Alex's face.
The presidential address.
Oh my gosh.
You've been sitting on that one.
That one's
I've been
tough.
sitting for a while, yeah.
You should start doing the dumb bit that I do at the end of every episode and call it the presidential address.
I cannot put so much thought into something like you do.
Or we could go back and forth doing it, and it could be the presidential debate.
Ooh, that's good.
So yeah, Colton, did you have anything you needed to say, or either of you, like, once again before we?
No, I'm just thankful for both of you and the beautiful show that we just produced and produce every week. But this one,
This one's a classic.
This
all
one-
timer.
was a extra special episode.
Yeah, this one was a gift.
Ooh.
Oh, Christmas.
You got anything else to say?
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy
to
holidays,
everyone.
Merry Christmas to all who
Happy
celebrate.
holidays.
Hope you get everything you want.
Yeah.
I hope you get nothing you want.
Oh, whoa.
No, that's crazy.
God,
All
yeah,
right,
I'm ending
Grinch.
this one.
Nobody-
All right, Mr. Grinch.
Nobody's watching the show anymore.
Next show, he's
Oh.
next show he's coming in a Grinch outfit.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna be all green when I come in here. So yeah, I was actually gonna say something if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, we got time.
Of course.
So we've been doing this for an entire semester now. And when I first started doing this with you all, I was like, I can't stand these guys. These guys bother me. I really don't like them. They stink. They're dumb. They're smelly. I don't like them a lot. And I don't like them at all. But it's not about where you start.
Okay.
In fact, there was once a marathon runner who began a marathon in the complete back. He was 20 minutes behind the person in second to last place. But he kept up. He kept going. And at the end of the marathon, during the entire marathon, all he could think was, I just got to keep pushing. I just got to keep working. I got to keep trying, going harder and harder each step I take. And before you know it, this man was at the beginning of the race, hitting the finish line in first place. So I say all this to tell you all, it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how you've began the semester. Maybe you started at failing all your assignments. Maybe you started at acing all of your classes, getting your homework done way ahead of time. It is purely about where you finish the semester. And I want you all to know, have a blessed break. Thank you.
Ekpe Udo.
What a pool. That's going to do it for this episode of Beyond the Score and for a month of episodes, so we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks to NKU Media Services for letting us use the studio. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BT_score and YouTube at Beyond the Score 123. For myself, Alex Perez, Matthew Supinger, the graduate, director Colton Smith, the graduate. Go watch the North Benchwarmers podcast. They'll have cool stuff coming out over the break. We won't. Go watch that, and we will see you all in the next one. Be smooth.